Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Is it my voice is audible? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Murli, sir. Yeah. So we'll wait for some time, sir.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good afternoon,
Okay.
Professor.
Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon. Okay, we'll start the session. Uh, uh, Good afternoon, everybody. Is my PPT is visible?
Yes, Professor, we can see your screen.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, madam. Then we will start session. Okay. Myself, I am Dr. C. Srinivasulu, so professor in CSC department. I'm thanks to convener Madhu Bala madam to giving me opportunity to give a talk on the student feedback. So it's a very generic topic. When it is required, it's really required to students as well as faculty. So is it learning centric? Or then what are the different best practices and impact analysis to impact analysis, and how to improve the different what are the different strategies are there. So this is a feedback, this is a session was given to me by convener. So hope it is very hope this session is going to be helpful to you. So I took some of the references from teaching professors. There is one popular site in US. So I borrowed most of the content from teaching professors. So there are different articles as published. Teaching professors is one of the beautiful site. So how to which will help you to do the teaching strategies, or the different articles are there. So with that, by using that, I made some presentation. Of course, everybody know that why student need a feedback. So then how it is helpful to us to improve. Then what are the different strategies are there? So then definitely, then my presentation is going to talk about what is the feedback, then what is the effective feedback. So how effective, what is the effective feedback? Then what are the different strategies are there? What are the different strategies to get a good feedback, to get a good feedback? Then how do you grade? How do you grade? What are the different grading system is there? So this is my presentation I planned for coming 1.5 hour. So I think so when you are taking a feedback, student feedback, so what is the student feedback literacy entitles? So when you are talking students, its ability to read. Students' ability to read, then ability to interpret and use written feedback. So when you are giving, we check whether the student has a good reading capability. Then we have a good interpreting. And then ultimately, this presentation is going to be talk about the feedback with respect to the student, with how it is improved to us also. So then there is one guy called Carles Bound. So he is talking about how definition, how enhancing the feedback, appreciating a feedback, and making a judgment on particular. Suppose one feedback came, how do you take a judgment? How do you take the judgment? Then managing effectively, then then taking action, then taking the action. So these are the different definitions, definition given by the Carles Bound in 2018 on the how the student feedback literacy entitles. So that maybe that indicates that we try to improve the student ability in reading, interpret, and use the written feedback. Right? Use the written feedback. So we have to appreciate the feedback. And then based on that, we need to take some judgments. Right? Judgments need to be taken. Then how do you manage more effectively? Then how do you take the actions? How do you take the actions? So that's what feedback definition given by some Carles Bound. Then feedback is how it is transforming when you are transforming student learning, when you are taking a feedback, when you are transforming student learning. Then what is, how the feedback matters, how the feedback matters. That's what I want to discuss. So feedback is a single most important factor in students' learning. So when the student want to learn more effectively, so we need to take a feedback. We need to take a feedback. So then we can then based on that we can change our strategies to deliver our content, to deliver our content. So when you are transforming basically when this workshop is talking about outcome based education, right? On different stages we need to take a feedback from the student feedback. So there is a lot of impact if you take a proper feedback. It may be impacting on your course structure. It is impacting on your maybe when you are designing COs, right? That's why. So student feedback is very much important when you are transforming student learning. So feedback is a single most important factor in student learning. So then only you can improve our course structure or course structure. So then based on that, based on that, they are the main stakeholders. Students are the main stakeholders. So based on their feedback, we may able to change the course structure, etc. Right? Then for feedback to be more to be effective for the students, they need the following. So first, when the students are giving a feedback, right? They should understand the desired goal. They should understand the desired goal, right? Suppose assuming that if we take a feedback on how the course structure is defined, or because they are also one of the part of the stakeholder in outcome-based education. So the student should understand what is the stakeholders, student need to understand what is the desired goal. So how it is impacting. That's why if you see when you are designing a syllabus in autonomous syllabus, we call the alumni, we call the PG students. We have some maturity, right? So first they should understand that when you are trying to give a feedback to what is they understand the desired goal. What is the goal of what is the goal? Then only they can able to give the correct feedback. Then only they can give the correct feedback, right? So correct feedback. One second. One second. Yeah. Then evidence. Evidence about the present position in relation to the goal. So what is the relation? They should understand the goal of the relation, right? Then only they can able to give the proper feedback. Proper feedback. So that's how then guidance and the close gap between two, right? So when they are trying to give a feedback, so they should understand the goal. They should understand the goal. So then only they can able to give it. Then only they can able to give a proper feedback. So then feedback need when they are trying to give a feedback, feedback needs to be very clear, right? When you are giving any feedback, right? When you in the student transforming student learning, so it should be very clear. So what you want to convey, it should be very clear. Then it should be purposeful. Then there is some purpose where the purpose need to be served. Then it has some meaningful. It should have some meaningful. When you are giving a feedback, it should have some meaningful, and it should and compatible with the students, compatible with the students prior knowledge, and it has some provide some logical connections. It has some logical connections, right? So that's how when you are trying to give a feedback, feedback needs all these parameters. All these parameters need to be considered. The feedback should be clear. Then feedback should have a purposeful. Then it has some meaningful. It has some meaningful, and it has some compatible with the students' prior knowledge. It's students' prior knowledge, and it has some it provides some logical connections. It provides some logical connections. So why they need all these parameters? Of course, as I when you are giving a feedback, they should understand the goal, and they should they are the stakeholder which can improve the system, which can they are their feedback is going to be helpful to improve the system in education system, especially in the outcome-based education and the outcome-based education, right? So if they have all these parameters and get placed, clear, purposeful, meaningful, and compatible, and it should have some prior knowledge, and it has some prior knowledge, and it has some logical connection should be there. some logical connection should be there. So these are this is how the transforming students learning transform while they are giving a feedback, when they are giving a feedback. So when they are students are trying to learn learning something, so then all these parameters need to be considered. So maybe we have to think sometime. So feedback has different dimensions. Feedback has different dimensions. Sometimes we may get a real helpful feedback. So we may get sometimes we'll get most of the sometimes a real feedback, sometimes really unhelpful feedback. So then how do you handle that? Then when you are got real-time feedback, we need to jot down the thoughts and the context, what made you which will help you to help, which will made you to help improve ourselves. It may be course structure design, or course structure design, or the syllabus design, or so whatever it may be when in the outcome based education, right? Then sometimes the feedback maybe in your board of studies, maybe we have some stakeholders like industry persons will be there, or some expectations will be different, some unhelpful feedback will be there. So we have to jot down their thoughts and and their context. We have to see how it is going to be helpful, or it may not helpful to improve our feedback, right? Then turn the persons next to you and share some thoughts about the feedback you received. So you have to see you share some thoughts and feedback what you received. So this is how you have to make think about the feedback, right? So helpful feedback will be there, unhelpful feedback will be there. Then if it is helpful feedback, then how do you convert that helpful feedback to convert better context, right? Then if it is unhelpful feedback, then how do you react for that? How do you react for that? Then we have to see how to share the thoughts, and we have to share the thoughts and get the feedback received by them. So then we have to think about that. We have to think about that. Think about the feedback. What is need to be there. Then, as I mentioned, I was borrowed all these content from teaching professors, right? So we have some visible learning will be there, right? Visual learning will be there. If feedback is directed at the right level, it can assist the students to comprehend and engage. If you have a proper feedback, right, then we can able to students, we can able to comprehensively can engage them properly. Then it can effective, you can do the develop effective strategies, and we can improve the better process information proposed to the learners, right? So when if we have visible and the visible learning concept saying that, so if feedback is directed at the right level, it can be assist the students to comprehend and engage, developing effective strategies to the process and information proposed to the learners, right? Thus, then visual learning is once again it is saying, thus when the feedback is combined with effective instructions in classroom, it can be very powerful in enhancing the learning. So if you are having if you have it is combined with instruction, it is when the feedback is combined in the classroom itself. When you are taking instructions in the class itself, it is very powerful to enhancing the learning. So what it means to say, every day you have to take a feedback. It may be if you take the feedback every day, so it will helpful to helpful to improve the quality of the instructions in the classroom itself, itself. So that's how they are saying that. So if you have this visual learning has impact on your engaging your students more effectively, then to develop a more effective strategies process and information proposed to learners, then it may helpful to the effective instructions in the classroom itself, right? So that will enhance the learning, that will enhance the learning. That's what visual learning is saying that. So visual learning is saying. Then what is the importance of feedback? So when you are giving some instructions, right, you need to have some urgent learning focus and urgent instructions, right? Then we have to assessment need to be formal assessment need to be taken care, need to be taken, right? If you have a proper good response from students as well as teachers, then it is how effectively, how the importance will be there. If you don't have proper responses from the students, then there is no meaning for the feedback. There is no meaning for the feedback. So that's how the importance of the feedback is. We need to have some instructions need to be taken. Then we need to have adjust instructions, adjust learning focus. Then we need to assessment need to be taken. It is if assessment can be formal or informal, right? Formal or the informal. So then based on that, if we have a proper responses from the students as well as teachers, then will arrive the good we can achieve the better feedback. If you don't have proper responses from the students as well as teachers, then we may missing something. So that's what is the importance of the feedback. So maybe this diagram will help you how to do that. Then as I mentioned in my presentation, I'm going to talk about how the most effective feedback can be arrived from the different from the stakeholders from the stakeholder. So focus on what is being learned. Focus on what is being to learn. So when you want to get effective feedback, we need focus on what is being to be learned. Learning is it's a learning intention need to very clear. Learning intention need to be very clear. Then how the student should go about it, right? Success, how the student should go about it. It takes care about it talks about the student success criteria, right? So when you want to get effective feedback, so focus on what is being to be learned. Then we should have a proper learning intention. Then how the students should go about it, how the students go about it, right? So when we have to see the success rate, right? So maybe then occurs while students are learning in the concepts, right? Then providing information on how and why the student has or has not met the criteria. So we have to see the what is the criteria, how it is going to be mentioned. Then providing strategies to help the students to improve. So we need to provide the strategies to provide some strategies to improve, to help the students to improve. So so that's what when you want to give effective feedback. So effective feedback, so all these parameters we need to be considered, right? Focus on what is going to be learned, right? Then how the students should go about it. Then occurs while the students are having learning concepts, and then providing information how why the student has to learn to meet the criteria. Then providing strategies to help the students, right? So that's so maybe So my discussion is going to be talk about how the effective feedback when you want to get a learning centric environment. So there are typologies of the feedback. In 1996, Part Tensel is developed a typology for the teachers' feedback. Teachers' feedback. How do you record it and how do you classify the feedback given by the teachers to the students? He was come up with some typology. So one is first one is the evaluate. So we need to evaluate involving. We need first we have to evaluate it is nothing but we have to involve the value judgment, and descriptive is one, describing what the student said or what the student said or what they did it, and providing the guidance for improvement, So as per his typology, so we have to evaluate it. We have to evaluate, and we need to descriptive. We need to descriptive it. We need to describe the what student said or what student said, what the student did it, and provide the guidance to improve it. Provide it, right? So then when you are evaluating feedback, how evaluating feedback involves a judgment by the teachers based on the implicit or explicit norms, right? So one should have, first one is this is a approval. Have you done well? So then disapprove it. That is not a good enough. Then we need to have some rewards need to be given. Then sometimes we need to have some punishment. Punishment means how to improve. You need to give some punishment for that. So punishment, we're writing it, write it once again, right? So when you are evaluating a feedback, it involves judgment by the teachers based on the implicit or explicit norms. So one is approval, then one is disapproval, then the second one is third one is rewards, then last one is a punishment. Right? So these are the different grades. To improve the effective feedback involves this evaluate when you are trying to evaluate the feedback. So these are different stages, you can say, approval, disapproval, rewards and punishment. Then descriptive feedback. As per descriptive feedback is a specific information, information in the form of written comments or the verbal conversation. So descriptive feedback is a specific information we are going to provide in the form of the written comments or the verbal conversation. Then it focuses on identified learning outcomes and makes specific reference to the student achievements, right? Students achievement. So it focuses on how the identical learning outcomes and makes specific references to a students achievement, and it looks to and it looks towards the improvement. It looks towards the improvement. Descriptive, when you are giving a descriptive feedbacks to the student, so it may descriptive feedback is to we have to specify the information. We have to give in the form of written comments, or we have to give some verbal conversation. What is impact on it? It focuses on identifying the learning outcomes. So what is the learning outcomes? It should understand it should identify the learning outcomes and make a specific reference to the student achievements. Make a specific reference to the achievements. Specific what are the different achievements? Suppose when you are giving a feedback to the student, so what is expected outcome after taking this course? Maybe then what he need to be achieved, what he need to be achieved after taking this course, after taking this course, right? And it looks towards improvement when you are giving this descriptive feedback. It will help the students to improve. It helps the students to improve. It helps the students to improve. So these are the different ways, different ways of effective feedbacks. That's what we are trying to discuss, right? So descriptive feedback is to specify the information. Then when you are giving a written comments or the verbal conversation, right? Right. Then when you have a emphasis on evaluation can be effective, how the students feel about themselves, right? When we need to emphasize on the evaluation feedback can be affect how the students can feel about themselves. So we need to evaluate the feedback. Then when you are giving a descriptive feedback, how to evaluate it, and it can make the good students feel better, right? If when you are giving a feedback for their improvement, so it can make good students feel better, possibly self satisfied, then self motivated or self satisfaction will come. And less able, there's some student less able students who feel worse, who feel worse, right? Furthermore, they will never be able to succeed. They're never able to succeed, right? Then if you are given a descriptive feedback to the students, some two categories we are defining here: good students as well as able not students who feel worse. So how these having impact? Possibly, if good students, there is impact on the possibility of self improvement, and self satisfaction will be there. And more than that, you will never be able to succeed. So if you have proper effective descriptive feedback is not there, then it's not able to success. It's not able to having a success, right? Then these are the different, as I said, these are the different topologies. Topologies. What type of feedback do you give, right? What type of feedback are you going to give, right? So keep what types of feedback do you give means keep the topology in mind when giving a feedback to the students. So when you are giving a feedback to students, we have to keep a topology in the mind when giving a feedback to student. Then it is a descriptive feedback is focused on improvement. So descriptive feedback definitely will helpful for the improvement. Then how we provide suggestions for improvement is critical. Closing the gaps for the students, right? What are the feedback you are giving? So when you are trying to give providing a feedback, providing suggestions, we need to provide some suggestions to improvement. It will help you. It will help the students to critical and closing the gaps of the whatever the gaps they have when they are learning. When they are learning, we need to identify some gaps, and it will be descriptive feedback is trying to identify some gaps, and it will improve that. It will improve that. Then improvement is more likely if you use the kind of feedback prompt that best meets the need of the student. So when you are trying to improve, improvement is more likely if you use the kind of feedback prompt. If you have a prompt of feedback is given, that is then that best meet the needs of the students. So these are the what type of feedback do you give to the students? The students, that's what you are trying to discuss. Then students are active participants in the learning, right? Active participants, right? Feedback conversation is the most effective when initiated by the learner, right? Feedback when you have a feedback conversation is most effective when you are initiated by the learner. So it should be feedback when you are taking a feedback, it should be more effective. It should be more effective when you are initiated by the learners. When you are initiated by the learners. Teachers and students should make the decision about the level of support which is needed. So when you are taking a feedback, right, teachers and students should make the decision about the level of support which is needed. So feedback will, so it will help you when you are trying to learn. So the teacher and students should make the decision. So the level of support which they need, which that is a what level is required to support the students for learning. Then not enough, and the students is still in the dark and doesn't know how to improve too much, and then student does not have does not have any try. So then ask the students what support he or she needs, what support he or she need when you are taking a proper feedback. So then only then students will make a we can make the students are active participants in learning. So so what is trying to say is we should take a decision about the level of support when you are taking when you want to make the participants active participants in learning. Mm, learning. So the feedback conversation must be more effective, and then we should know about the what level of support they need it. Then maybe students are at the dark. Then how do you improve? How do you improve that? How do you improve that? Then we'll understand the student how the support needs. Is that enough? Is that enough? Right? We have to see that make them a more active participants. We need to understand their level. Then their level. Uh, then check the adequacy of the feedback. Check the adequacy of the feedback. Do you know do you know what to do next, right? What to do next? Then is that enough help? Whatever the if you have do you know what to do next? If you have a proper taken proper feedback, you should know what to do next, to improve their learning. So then we'll set a targets. We set a target what to do next. Is that enough help? So then we can think about that, whether is the help is enough, or we need to extend our help to we need to extend our help. We need to extend our help. What will you do if you get stuck again? So if you have they stuck some in between, then what do you do? Right? So this is how you have to check the adequacy of the feedback. So what next to be done? Is there any help is required? Then if they stuck, what need to be done? So what need to be done? Finding from the there is one guy Carlex research. So what he is trying to say, teachers giving too many criteria, making it very difficult for specific feedback to be given. So Carles is saying that we are taking too many criteria. We are taking too many criteria, making a very difficult for specifying feedback to be given. We are taking too many parameters. We are taking too many criteria. We are taking teachers will give too many criteria to take a feedback. So of course that is required. Too much information is too much information in their marking, which students find overleaving and difficult to take in, right? We expect a lot of too much information, and too much information from the students. So, but this Carlix is suggested when you given a written feedback, teachers giving written feedback, teachers highlights 2 or 3 successes to the students' work. So we need to tell the students 1 or 2 successes. Success, what are the different success? Then one area where some improvement need to be necessary. One area where the improvement is necessary. one improvement where it is necessary, right? So this is how you're finding research from some parameters. How do you improve that? How do you improve that, right? Then, so this is how till now, as of now, we discuss how the effective feedback can be taken, can be taken from the students. So hope all the participants, we are doing that process on regular basis, right? So most of the things which I am talking, I think most of you are aware, because all are the but we all we are aware that all we are aware that. So so hope, is there any questions on effective feedback? Any questions from the effective feedback, dear participants?
No, sir. No, sir.
Thank you, Murli sir. Yeah. So now, then to get a better feedback from the students, so we till now we discussed how our effective feedback will be there. Then what are the different researchers are saying? What is effective? How do you get effective feedback, etc., etc. Right? Then. And how do you get a better feedback from students? So when you are delivering some lectures, content, ultimately, so in the learning centric, student learning centric, now it is the era is become outcome based education, is become student learning centric, right? So we have to measure the outcomes very frequently. So how to get a better feedback from the students? So there are different strategies which I liked from teaching professor side. So the first teaching, what are the different teaching strategies and techniques? Strategies and techniques are there. So the first one is what is trying to say, some one professor, one there is some article in teaching professor site. Uh, so we have to incorporating humor into the class when you are delivering a lecture. So to ultimately students, now it is student centric system, right? So we have to incorporate humor in the class. Enjoy the class time more. So when you are delivering a lecture, enjoy the class time more, right? Class time more, right? Then using mode of communication. So there are saying that you need to use the mems can be used, right? Mems, how much you are viral and easy to distribute. So we need to have some mems need to be created. Then, but don't think that the mems need come only from the faculty to the students. So we need to keep some mems, right? So one of the strategy by some professor in teaching professor is saying that, so we need to have more humorous in the class. Then we should enjoy the class time. We need to have some mode of communication. We need to change the mode of communication in this era, right? We need to create some memes. We need to create some memes need to be created. Memes need to be created. So then that's what, if you see, find the topic that student might struggle. So how to, when you are creating this communication mode, how to identify the what topic is when you are using this communication mode mems. Find to appropriate to deliver to deliver. So find a proper topic where the students are might struggling it, which they feel more difficult. Ask them to create the memes for it. Ask them to create a memes for that, right? Memes for that. Then have them to share their creations, right? How they are created, how they are created. This could work as a discussion board project. This can be helpful as a discussion board project. and it allows them to be it allows them to be creative. So when you use this communication mode MEMS, so then they become more creative, right? So then why we need to use this communication mode as a MEMS in teaching professors? What they're talking is to tolerate the stress better, to improve the memorability and memorability, what to improve the memorability. So whatever ultimately student has to memorize the concept, and to make students more engaged, to make the students more engaged, to make the more engaged, right? That is the biggest challenge being a teachers we face in this era. So how do you engage? How do you engage? So that's why I kept in my presentation how about the online classes. What are the different strategies? Also, that is also I borrowed from teaching professors. There are beautiful articles as written by the different eminent professors in teaching article. Sorry, teaching professor site. So at the end, I'll share the credentials also. If you are interested, you can go back and see how the different articles will help you, or teaching strategies to strategies to improve the our learning students learning outcome, right? Then this is the one strategy they are trying to say. This is one strategy that they are trying to say. You should be more humorous, and you should have more engage enjoy the class time more. Then use the mode of communication MEMS, right? So then what you want to do, right? Then when you want them every day is in class. So this is one strategy which they feel. Then there are different changing the fixed mindset in the classroom. There are then one article is talking about teaching professors. They are talking about different we have a different mindsets in the class: fixed mindset and growth mindset. Fixed mindset in the growth mindset in your. So we see different in your class of 60. There are we observe there are different students will be there. Different mindset of the students will be there. Different mindset of the students will be there. So in that we categorize into the two categories. One is fixed mindset and growth mindset. Fixed mindset and the growth mindset. In fixed mindset, believes that she has certain he or she has some certain talents. Yes, she has some certain talents. Then they can't be expanded. They can't be expanded. So in fixed mindset, they can't be expanded. They can't be expanded, but they have some certain talents are there. They have some certain talents will be there. Much less improved. So in fixed mindset, when use any learning strategies or any strategies also, so we expect the very less improvement. We expect very less improvement. Less improvement. That is, but less improvement will be there. Much very less improvement will be there. Suffer increasing the why they have this suffer increased the anxiety and the depressions, right? If they have this fixed mindset, they suffer with increased or anxiety, depressions. So then but that is a challenge being a teacher when you are handling the class of different people. So we have to change their mindset. We have to change their mindset. But so these are the different fixed mindset people has these characteristics as per one of the article, right? Maybe we observed, we also observed in our classes. But we then how we also take some of the necessary actions to extend their to improve their to change their mindset, to change their mindset. So maybe then growth mindset, it is more flexible. Then believes that he or she can learn to be learning can be better. Then believes that she or he can develop a new talent over a time, right? So that within the less time they can develop a new talents. Failure is a temporary condition for the temporary condition, not a permanent barrier for the growth mindset people. Sometimes they have some failures will be there, but it is a very temporary. But then looks for ways to work harder and smarter, right? They look for some ways how they work very hard and smarter, then confident that he or she will attain her goal eventually at the end. He or she able to get attain their goals. So why I took this one of the strategy, because being a teachers, we need to, these are the challenges we face in the day-to-day life when you are handling the different set of students. So then that's why we make it into, we follow different strategies. We may make them the different baskets, or the approach will be different. So basket one approach will be different, basket two approach will be different. But as per psychology, as per the mindset, we have to see that how we can how we can change the fixed mindset to the growth mindset. So we have to see that we have to change the student mindset. Fixed, when they have a fixed mindset, maybe their learning will be very less, right? Very less. So but they have a very less learning capability, they may not able to expand. Then they may be it's very tough to meet the current competition. We have to have follow some strategies to convert that growth mindset. So then there are some major problems that we may decide on one time performance, right? One time performance. So what are the different problems? No opportunities to revise, no chance to apply my feedback, and certainly no reflections. When you have major problems, when you are decided, right? We need to have sometimes we don't get a opportunity, don't get the opportunity to revise, because even though if you took a feedback, then no chance to apply my feedback, no chance to apply feedback. We are taken some feedback, and then we don't get a chance to apply it. We don't get a chance to apply it. Then certainly we don't have some we don't have some reflections. We don't have some reflection on your feedback which you are taken. Then change of approaches is, what are the different approaches we can take it, emphasizing the feedback, and revision need to be taken, and the reflections need to be taken. We need to emphasize the feedback, then only the improvement can be happen in the students. Then we need to revision, and we need to reflection, we need to have some reflection is there on the feedback. And how do you achieve? By mentoring the group projects, right? Group of the project, assigning the group of projects are the students collectively to choose the topic, then let the research revise work progress in your feedback, right? So then this is that is one of the strategy. If you follow so then the other strategy is enhancing the teaching and learning through storytelling. That is storytelling. This is one strategy which I found. One of the professor is writing about one article in the teaching professors to enhancing teaching and learning. So it can be happened through the through the storytelling. So storytelling is the form of the transforming knowledge which can be a great impact. So when you are delivering a lecture, right? If you make it is a storytelling. So storytelling is a form, is in a form of the transforming knowledge, which can be great impact when you are transferring knowledge. So there is we keep it in the form of the storytelling. There is a lot of impact on that. There is a lot of impact in there. Of course, teaching is a art, but you have to adopt some new strategies. That's what storytelling is, one of the strategy which I feel we need to adapt it. We need to adapt it. After all, who does not like good stories? Definitely, the learners like the good stories, which learners will like the good stories. Storytelling, you have to encourage the students also. Not only by the so have to encourage the students to tell the stories also, even though we normally don't participate in the class. So not only to transferring the knowledge in the form of the storytelling has a great impact. So we have to adopt that strategy to transferring knowledge, and we have to encourage the students also for doing that. To then to enhance the classroom learning more experiences by using storytelling, who can use? So we have to use some movie clips. Then we need to use some newspaper stories. Then we need to have some historical accounts. Then passages from novels and own experience and our own experiences on our own experiences. So this is to enhance the classroom learning more experience by storytelling. So if you have these ways to improve, so we can make it as a movie clips. Then nowadays maybe learning is happening so through audio and video is more impact. Audio and video is more impact. So newspaper stories and historical accounts, then passages from novels and own experiences, right? Then storytelling is the advantage of storytelling. If you adopt that one of the strategy, storytelling builds the relation between teachers and students. It has a lot of impact to build the relations, between the between students and teachers. If you do that, then it has a rapport, makes the climate in the classroom very positively. If we have that storytelling strategies implemented, then we have a good positive energy will be there in the class. Positive energy will be there in the class. Sharing your personal experiences and inspiring mutually when you are adapting this stories telling, right? So we have to share our experiences and how to inspires mutually. So we sometimes we have to why that we are saying that inspire mutually. Students are also share their stories. Then mutually we can able to inspire. We can also inspire. Instructors should be careful, consider each story before integrating, and it is and integrating it into the course material, right? When you are so we should be very careful. We need to what we need to what when you are integrating storytelling, we should be taken proper care need to be we should take proper care to introduce that storytelling. So it should be relevant to the content. It should be relevant to the content, right? Then there is one more strategy which I found is mining the analogy. Mining the analogy. So most of the mining analogy, most of the people will know about the relational reasoning, cognitive levels, right? So it's almost similar to that. So mining the analogy. So then analogy is prompting content acquisition and the basic cognitive mechanisms, right? Then the effective analogy wisely use both similarly and similarities and differences will be there. In higher education, it's have developed the deep thinking and listening learning. So if you have this analogy, right, mining the analogy, so it will help you to it will help you to deep thinking and the deep thinking and the lasting learning. So it will help you. So the your rate of your learning will be improved. Your rate of learning will be improved. Mining. So that for that one we need to have. So this is one of the strategy which I found very interesting. So I would say based on your cognitive and cognitive levels, right? Then so these are the different strategies which I found to improve to get a good feedback. So it should be more humorous. Then we should have proper storytelling. We need to implement the story telling, right? Then we have this mining analogy, right? Mining analogy can be implemented, right? Then nowadays most of everybody is facing so many challenges. How to motivate the online students, right? How do you do most effective teaching by using online modes. Effective teachers are able to keep their students attention, of course. Effective teachers are able to keep their students more attention, grabbing and keeping the audience attention, including students, is much simpler than most people think. A story always a good option. Nobody remembers the basic facts, providing these significant matters, right? Then when you are having this online, how the motivate your online student. Show how to motivate your when they are doing online learning. There are some concerns they are learning. Instead of circulating correcting errors, use screens casting feedback, modeling correct work then. So this is how we can online discussions. Then we need to have some blocks need to be created. Some blocks need to be created. Then in between you can to grab the student attention. In between you can conduct some quizzes, right? Then we need to have some online ideal tools can be used to get the attention of the students. So these are the different ways to create. There are different ways to create motivate online student to motivate online students. So these are different strategies which I found to get a better feedback to improve the students learning. So is there any discussion on this, participants? Okay. Of course, most of the whatever I'm discussing, I think you are practiced. You maybe you are practiced, right? So that's maybe right. And uh, then last topic which I want to discuss is how do you matters the grading? How do you matters the grading when you are giving a feedback? When you are transforming student learning? Why marking matters? Why marking matters? Right. One, what is the impact on the what is impact on the grading? What is the impact on the grading? Right. How do you mark it? How do you mark it? How did you mark the art of work? Then how do you normally mark it? How do you market the market? Then how do you make judgments? How do you make the judgments? then what do you find most difficult? What do you find most difficult? Most difficult, right? So then what is the literacy says that, right? Making marking is important. Definitely marking is important. The grades which we give the students, and then discussion we make about whether they pass or fail on the coursework, and examinations are as per the art of academic standards, as per their academic standards, literacy. Then what are the different paradigms or accountabilities? Accountabilities will be considered, right? We have a learning outcomes. We have a learning outcomes will be there. Then we have a criteria based learning. Then we have a meticulous specifications. Then we have a written dissertations will be there. Then we have a generic dissertations will be there. Then we have a validating practices will be there. Then we have a transparent to the staff and the students. Then we need to have intent to reduce the uncertainty of the staff discussions. So these are the different paradigms or accountabilities we consider when you give the marking, marking, right? When we have a learning outcome, then we have a criteria based learning. We have a criteria based learning will be there. Then we have a meticulous specification will be there, right? Then we have a written distractions will be there. Then we have a generic distractions will be there. Then we have a valid practice will be there. Then we have a transparent to staff. We need to make it transparent and transparent to the staff and student. Then we need to have intended to reduce the uncertainty of the staff decisions, and uncertainty of the staff decisions, right? Staff decisions. So these are the different paradigms which hello. One second, there is system is start. Hello.
Sir, you are audible, sir.
Audible, but my system is stuck, Murli sir. That's why I'm saying. Yeah. Give me 1 minute. I'll restart.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your slide is now okay. Well,
Sir, now, yeah, now my screen is visible, sir. Sorry for inconvenient. My system was stuck. So these are different. Is it visible? Is audible? My voice is audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So sorry for inconvenient. My system was stuck. So these are different paradigms which we take accountability, learning outcomes, and we have a criteria-based learning. We have a meticulous specifications and written distractions and generic distractions and validating practices and transparent to staff to student. Then intended to reduce the uncertainty of the decisions, right? Then when you are giving a grading, right, so there are different criterias we'll consider. There are different criterias we consider. So what are the we take some demonstration, see their knowledge, then we see the their curriculum design. So there are different approaches we'll see. But when you are giving a grading, so each every lecturer is marking differently. Sometimes it was confusing to the students, right? So maybe some variation will be there. Some variation will be there. Then what are the how do you two tutors may be marking different, completely different, right? Suppose when you are marking some to the students, one tutor may give one grading, one tutor may give other grading, but it is a little bit difference will be there. A little bit difference will be there. But how do you what are based on the reason is we take the different criterias built by our own, that's why there is some difference in the gradings. There will be some difference in the grading, but we need to have some consistency across. We need to have some consistency in the marking. We need to have some consistency in the marking. Then so for that one, there is some strategies which I found is very good. One is art and science of evaluation, right? So it is because of decisions which we can give the gradings. There are two types of art and science evaluation techniques are there. So then we have what are the different criterias we have. Criterias will be there. So analytical versus holistic. So when you are giving a grading, we have criteria. One is talking about analytical versus we follow scientific as well as art techniques. Then analytical grading will be there. So when you are giving grading, then we have some the resulting at the end we give, try to convert the good gradings. Then we need to have some holistic grading will be there. Some holistic grading will be there. Then we have a different responses, mental responses will take. Then we take up some based on that we have some holistic grading can be given. Then we have many criterias will be there to give the gradings. Many criterias will give the for giving the grading. Then criteria 3, then we have different lectures are using different set of criterias for giving grade. That's why the students will have a different gradings. They will get a surprise. Very little bit variation will be there. The reason is we follow the different criterias. We follow different criterias, but ultimately when you are giving a grading, but their learning outcome is measured out. Their learning outcome is measured. What effective would you apply different criterias? Then what signal sends to the students while you are giving a different set of using a different set of grade criterias. So that's why most of the students now when you are doing mass correction, they have different opinions. Does your department has used the use the same criteria when you are giving a grading? When you are giving the same grade, so all the faculties are using the same criteria to give the grading. Does it matters? Does it influence the gradings if we follow the different criteria? If we follow the different criteria, so that's what they are saying that how do you, what is the perspective of staff and student to see the different gradings, to see the different gradings. They have a different prospects, we have different prospects will be there. Then we have what kind of what is behind a mask. So when you are having so to give the understanding subject reading, exposing what we think, what you think, right? So that's what what I mean to say is, when you are giving a, grading to the students, we should be we should follow the different criteria, but a little bit variation will be there. Little bit variation will be there. So see that we follow the common criteria to assess the students when you are giving grading. That's there are some. I found some of the approaches from some articles. That's the reason I just mentioned. So some practical then some practical strategies for effective and formulate the feedback to try out in the classroom. So I found out some of the these are the different effective feedbacks for improvement. So comments on the students work should act guidance showing how the students improve, how the students can be improved. Then developing this by asking students to write the same why they, when their peers are assessing the work. So these are the different some of the practical strategies for effective formulating feedback. So these are different things which I found from different articles. Maybe we are using different strategies, but these are the some of the strategies which I found very interesting from different articles. That's the reason I want to present. Then commenting on only marking provides. Then we don't need punish the grade based on the grades, right? Then we have planned some activities. Then we need to have design it. Then self-assessment we have to encourage. We self-assessment need to be encouraged by the student. They have to do the self-assessment, right? Self-assessment need to be encouraged. Then there is one concept called a feedback sandwich. Feedback can be delivered in the different ways, right? Positive comments. Then there is a feedback sandwich is one of the approaches which I found. Then allow the students time to act on the feedback. So when you give a feedback, you have to allow the students to act on the feedback. Use the teaching time for students to revise their work. Then this allows the students to focus on the feedback to improve it. It also refines the values of feedback to work on supporting environment. Then we need to have feedback the follow-ups. So we need to when you are given a feedback, we need to follow up the feedback also. Then to have to allot some time during the class to talk individual students, then have a dialogue with them. We need to talk to them in personally. Then use the comments tracker or target sheet to formalize the dialogue of workbook, right? Then we need to have this is one which I found, creating a learning journal in which students can reflect on the review of their review. It can be including activities, targets, setting charts, aims and goals, etc. So we need to then effective feedback. Finally, it's the best initiated by the learner, focusing on the learner's intention of the task, then occurs and the students are doing the learning. Provide the information on why the students understand and misunderstands. Then provides the strategies to help the students to improve it. Then assess the students to understand the goals of the learning. So these are this is what we achieve if we have a effective feedback. It is the best initiated by the learners. Focus on the learning intention of the task. We need to if you have a effective feedback is taken, right? Focus on the learning intention of the task, then provide the information how and why the students understand and misunderstands, then provide the strategies to help the students to improve, then assess the students to understand the goals of the learning, assist the students to understand goals of the learning. So these are the different strategies which I found very interesting, from different articles. So different. These are the strategies which I want to present in this 1.5 hour session. Hope everybody is everybody's enjoyed this session. If anybody have any questions or any discussions, maybe you are also facing implementing some of the strategies to get the more give the more effective feedback, right? And what are your strategies? If you the participants can share, it's really helpful to improve ourselves.
Thank you, sir. The session was more informative.
Yeah.
And the practical strategies useful for getting feedback from students is, I think, is very much useful, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
The only thing is the time constraint. That is only thing.
Yes. So, a lot of strategies are there. Time, and that's why I'm running very fast. So that's why so there is one beautiful site, teaching professors. I'll share it is a paid one actually. Teaching professors. Teaching professors. Please Google it. It is a lot of articles is written by the different professors throughout the world. What are the different strategies are there? I'll share actually offline one by one. So it is very confident. So teaching professors, you can see that. Right? I'll share personality one by one, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So is there anything you face being a teacher? So you face how to improve the feedback? What are your strategies, sir? Murli sir, anything to suggest in our
Used
group?
to feedback only at the end of the semester, sir.
Yeah, that's true.
Feedback form or Google form. By incorporating all the important factors of teaching and learning process.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. We'll take feedback. It will help improve this to us also, right?
Yes,
When you are taking a feedback, we don't take it negative. So being we are not supposed to take it negatively. We should take it very positively. So it improves ourselves as well as students also, right?
Yes, sir. Certainly.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. So anything? Anybody have anything to share? Do you have any other strategies to improve the effective feedback? Okay. If nobody have anything to share, then we can close the session. I'll share this PP to all of you, right? Our convener madam will share, right? So thank you very much. Thank you very much once again to giving me the opportunity. It's also good learning for me, right? Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.